Okay, I think I got the kinks worked out of this. I think I got everything figured out finally. Okay, so I'm doing this. I want to kind of reach out to you guys, let you guys know there's some warnings that have dropped today as of right now. Last 20 minutes or so, I believe. Um, that is encompassing the majority of Texas. As you see here, you have a winter storm warning going from Texas all the way up to, uh, you know, New York and past, all the way almost to Maine. But you have right here an ice storm warning as well, and then the eastern portion of Texas into northern Louisiana, Mississippi, on up to the eastern seaboard. So, as of earlier, these were all watches, and now they have been moved to warnings. Of course, a warning means that the conditions are imminent for whatever it is being warned, right? So, your winter storm warning, your ice storm warning, the eastern part of Texas, Louisiana, all the way through into North Carolina, you guys are looking at ice. Okay, so you should have already been making preparations for this. We've known about this for several days now, and now it is imminent. So the majority of Texas, Southeast Texas, West Texas, Central Texas, Northern Texas, we are under a winter storm warning, basically saying that the conditions are favorable for winter storms. We are expecting a southeastern portion of Texas is expecting freezing rain. Then you get further into central and northern, northeast Texas, you guys will very likely be seeing some sort of snow, which I will get into here in a little bit. And same with Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, and the like. So, but just want to let you guys know these warnings have dropped. So this is happening. Hopefully, you have made your preparations. You have made your grocery store runs. You have made your Lowe's or Home Depot runs, or wherever you get your home improvement products at. And you are ready to get through this weekend. If you have a generator, make sure that you know that it is gassed up, it is oiled up, it is ready to go. We just got lucky and had ours delivered today, so very thankful for that. And so here we go. We'll talk about this a little more. All right, so the public precipitation forecast here, the GFS model. This particular run just dropped. I want to say 21 minutes ago. So it's pretty much on point as far as what they think it's going to do. We're going to go through a couple models here. So GFS model is more of it's a long term. We usually rely on this more if we're looking at several days out or a week out. You don't necessarily have to. We're not really going to look at it as much like the day before, and I will move over to a convection allowing model here in a little bit that we use to see a more pinpoint and accurate idea of what the atmosphere is going to do. But to kind of show you this, because it just happened to be what it landed on, I'm using a newer beta model of pivotal weather, so it just happened to be where it's at. So, but as I move further down, and you can see right here, my mouse, you can kind of see the time there. I don't know if you can see it or not. We're looking at 3 p.m. CST today, all the way into we start seeing, and that's sleet. Okay, so you're going to start seeing sleet. The northern part of Texas, northern part of central Texas, northeastern part of Texas. You will be seeing sleet. A little bit of freezing rain right here, most of sleet. Western Texas and central Texas, you're just going to see regular precipitation. Shouldn't be anything that worrisome tonight or right now. Over here in Southeast Texas, we've been receiving rain off and on all day, so no big deal. But over in the northern part of Texas, the Panhandle in the northern Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, and further up, Kansas, Colorado, Mexico, you guys are actually starting to see some snow. Not a whole lot, but parts of Oklahoma, the eastern part of the Panhandle of Texas, starting to see a little more than the rest. But as I move on in further into Saturday morning, you're starting to see a whole lot more as far as your sleet, your freezing rain, and then as we move closer into Sunday, or see, it kind of moves out. Now this is the GFS model. Now we're going to go to this. This is very different than what we were told, previously, right? So 3 a.m. we're looking at a lot of freezing rain and sleet right here as well, and into southeast Texas, into central Texas as well, or central eastern portion of Texas. The Panhandle Sunday morning, you guys will be waking up to snow. At some sort of accumulation of snow. Looks like you're going to have a decent amount. Now again, this is GFS. We're gonna narrow it down a little bit, move into a little more of an accurate picture of what's going on here. So we go right here. Go to convection allowing. I'm going to go to HRRR to HRRR. A lot of people call it different things. So this is usually what we use to picture to get a picture of something a lot more accurate, a lot more pinpoint, like 24 hour to 48 hour. Okay, so 24 hour to 48 hour. What is the precipitation going to do? I'm going to move on to the temperatures here in a minute, so you can kind of see that as well. So we're going to move on back over here to Friday. You see a lot of greens right there. Is your typical reflectivity picture here, just green rain. That's all it is. But as you start moving a little bit further into it, you're going to start seeing over here in the directly south of the Panhandle, you're going to start seeing some freezing rain. As you can see right here, rain, snow, freezing rain, sleet. So I'm going to start seeing some freezing rain right there at about, well, you already are. As of 30 minutes ago, you already are. So we go a little further into the evening. Again, freezing rain mixed with that's sleet. That's not snow. This is the snow above here. I know you see the purple around there. That's actually going to be sleet. See, and snow up above in Oklahoma into Kansas. All right. So as we move in a little bit further into the weekend, you're going to start seeing in the morning time, it's starting to strengthen. Okay. So you're going to see a lot more of your snow up here in Oklahoma, into Arkansas, and a little bit in the, I guess, Missouri area. Yeah, a little bit in Missouri. But you're going to see a lot of sleet here in the southern portion of Oklahoma, southern portion of Arkansas, into northeast Texas. Freezing rain a little further down below, still northeast Texas-ish area. Then we got our typical rain precipitation. Not freezing precipitation, more in the central Texas and the southeast Texas. And that's at 4 a.m. on Saturday. But as it draws closer into the day, in the later portion of the mornings, it kind of moves through. And it starts moving into the northern part of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and the like, all the way up. So we're going to move it all the way through. Boom. Now, you kind of get another wave here. So you got all this mass right here that's moving out at about 9, 10, and 11 o'clock a.m. And then you start seeing, get a little bit of a break maybe. And then at about Saturday evening, 4 or 5 p.m., moving on into the late hours of the night, you're going to get another round of it, especially central Texas, northeast portions of Texas, Panhandle is going to see snow. But you're going to have your same culprits, your snow, your freezing rain, your sleet right here in the middle, and then you can kind of see where it's freezing, like snow freezing. Then you get into the sleet, which is a little less version of the snow freezing. Then you get into freezing rain, which is a mixture of obviously rain and ice. So you say, well, what's the difference? Well, snow is completely frozen, right? Snow is snow. It is a fully frozen atmosphere all the way up from the 500 millibar all the way through 850 and above. And there's nowhere for that snow to melt when it falls, and it falls as a pretty little flakes that everybody loves. Sleet is a little bit different. It is a little bit of accumulation of snow and freezing rain. Little melting going on there, but it is essentially still pretty frozen. There's not a whole lot of difference there. The freezing rain really is the biggest issue. The freezing rain is you have your snow in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and as it's dropping in that downdraft, it is actually warming up, as it goes from, the 1,000 millibar to 850 all the way down. And before it gets to 500, it actually starts to warm up a little bit, and it thaws slightly. But right before it gets to about that 500, it actually starts to refreeze. There is a layer of frozen or freezing temperatures that will refreeze that that rain a little bit, and by the time it gets, of course, it hits the ground's frozen, it freezes, or power lines or trees or whatever the case may be, right? And at that point, that's where you start seeing, your power outages, your black ice, and the like. So anywhere from about, and I'll look here in just a minute, but anywhere from about a quarter to about half inch of freezing rain, you're really not going to have a whole lot of problems. You're going to see a little bit of accumulation on power lines and tree limbs, but you're not going to see too much damage. Maybe little spotty power outages depending on your grid, but it's not that big of a deal. When you start getting to about half an inch to an inch of freezing rain or ice, that's when you're going to start noticing your more large scale power outages, cities, large areas of your, wherever you are, that will receive the power outages. That's when you're going to start seeing smaller trees, limbs, and depending on how much you get, some larger tree limbs snapping. Okay, and that's what, that could hit your car, it could hit your house, it could hit your power lines. Breaks the power lines and where you get your power outages from. Anywhere from an inch of freezing rain or ice and up is where you get your massive damage. All right, so you don't have tree limbs falling, you have entire trees falling. You have your power lines going out, and you're looking at massive, like countywide or multiple countywide city city outages. Okay, that could last for days on end. So, and here in a little minute, I'm going to go into what exactly you guys can expect as far as how much everybody's going to get. But I just want to kind of, point this out and kind of give you an idea of what to expect. Of course, you move on into Sunday morning. I can only, like I said, go so far because we're using the HRRR here. So, but by Sunday morning, sleet, freezing rain for the almost the entirety of the eastern side of Texas, from the northern part of the Arklatex region into Texas, Oklahoma region, all the way down to the Gulf almost. So that's what we're looking at. And if I go back to the GFS right quick, and I run this whole thing, I'll go all the way through Sunday. All right. So zoom in here so you guys can see this. All right. So Friday into Saturday into Sunday. Okay. It's at 9 a.m. So it's 9 a.m., about 9-ish, 12. 9 is really going to start coming through all the way through. And then it will make its way eastward towards the coast. But about right now, of course, this is GFS saying this could change tomorrow. But about 12 p.m. CST, we should hopefully see the majority of Texas be clear of the freezing, the dangerous precipitation. You'll see a little bit of snowfall there coming in from the western side of Texas, kind of just the lagging parts of that winter storm. So, and then once you get into earlier Monday morning, it hopefully should be cleared out. I'm all the way into Thursday. So now I'm actually kind of glad it's pulled up. We do see this is a week out, so there's no reason to panic right now. We haven't even gone through this one yet, but as of next weekend, there is a little bit showing on the GFS model of some repeat of what we're going to deal with this weekend. You got your sleet and your freezing rain accumulating over here in the Arklatex region again. You got more heavy, non-frozen precipitation, possibly storms in the southeast Texas, Houston, Harris County, Galveston County area. And then, of course, it will move on out. But it does appear that the frozen precipitation may push down before it moves out. That's next weekend. We're not worried about next weekend. Let's get to this weekend. Okay. So now, temperature-wise. All right, so we're going to go back to convection allowing. We're going to go back to, what did that go through? Okay, we'll do 3 kilometer NAM. That's fine. That's not a problem. It's a North American model. We can do that. real quick, just kind of give you an idea of what this is showing. This is another 24 to 48 hour model, another more pinpoint accurate that we look at usually the day before, day of kind of deal. And it's showing a lot of the same thing. You got your sleet out here, your freezing rain. It's showing a little bit less as of Saturday morning. We get into Sunday morning, you see it gets a lot thicker, especially that sleet moving through central Texas into the Arklatex region and beyond. And then it just keeps going and going and going. You got this large, like you see this low pressure system is moving it in, and it just keeps pushing it and pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. I'm all the way up to Sunday morning, 5 a.m. Central Time, and we're still dealing with a little bit like the remnants of it into Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, into that area. So it's showing a lot of the same stuff, right? These models are all in agreement that this is going to happen. Now, when exactly, maybe, it varies, and where exactly it varies. They're all different models, but we're all in agreement that Texas is going to be pretty frozen. And you see it just keeps moving and moving and moving and moving all the way through Sunday evening. Now, again, this is a 24-hour, 48-hour convective allowing model. It's not going to go past Sunday. So, but I'll show you on Monday and Tuesday, and then the next weekend, this model's not going to show it. So, okay, so enough of that, right? You've seen enough of that. Let's go to our winter weather here, and let's talk about snowfall. All right, we're going to do 24-hour 10-to-1 ratio snowfall. Okay. Again, 3 kilometer NAM. Actually, I'm going to move that over to the HRR. There we go. All right. So this is now, and as I start moving, this was at 7 a.m. Not now. As I start moving it in, we are right here at 3 o'clock, 3 to 4 p.m., which is where we are at the moment. We are starting to see a little bit of snowfall accumulate over here in Colorado, a little bit in New Mexico, but Texas is pretty much on the clear side at this moment. It won't stay that way. But, once you start moving further into the afternoon, into the evening, and late into the night, we're going to start seeing it building and building and building. Now, this is we're looking at the southeastern portion of Oklahoma is looking at possibly 7 inches. Okay, that give or take, we don't know that for sure, but they're claiming that the forecast of the future models are claiming 5 to 7 inches, depending on where you are in Oklahoma. Texas Panhandle, the southern part of the Panhandle, we're looking at about 2 or 3 inches. Of course, we can get on the New Mexico, about the same, 3 to 4 in Colorado. And then we're going to move on into Saturday morning, 8 a.m., 10 to 12 p.m., and you see a lot of the snow is building. Now, this is dangerous, 16 inches, okay, over in that same area of Oklahoma. Guys, that's a lot of snow. That is a whole lot of snow. That also can cause power outages. That's extreme. So I'm hoping that you guys have made preparations for this. I'm hoping that you guys got your hope your DOT is brining the roads and getting ready for this, right? So this is snowfall. Now, this is saying by up to this point. That's not saying at this very moment it's going to drop 14 inches. It's saying up to this point, up to 6 p.m. Saturday, it is predicting up to 16 inches of snow in certain parts of Oklahoma. Then as we move further into the night, tomorrow night, that is when the Panhandle is going to start seeing more snow, up to 6 inches, accumulated, right? And then 2 to 3 inches is just getting into the central northern part of Texas or the Red River. Then as we move into Sunday morning, it's going to be a little bit more. Again, accumulated Panhandle up to 8, 9, 10 inches, possibly the northern part of the Red River Valley. You're looking at about anywhere to 4 to 7, 5 to 7 inches of snow accumulated at that point. Freezing rain, which is what is going to affect most of us. Okay, total freezing rain. We're again right here. Look at 7 a.m. Today. This morning was nothing. We start seeing a little bit of accumulation right at about an hour and a half ago. I start seeing a a little bit of accumulation at the very, very tip top of the Panhandle, western part of Oklahoma, into the southern portion of the Panhandle. And as we move further into the evening, this is when it's going to start spreading out. Okay. Remember what I said about accumulative totals of ice and what it can do. All right. Anything over half an inch can cause major problems on the roads for travel. It can also cause major problems with power. So right now, you're looking at about 8 p.m. tonight, an accumulated freezing ice total of right around 0.35 inches or so, depending. Depending on where you move this, it could be up to half an inch. Okay, that's when you start. This is when you're going to start really seeing issues. The black ice, the larger amounts of ice on your cars, your roads, your power lines, your trees. Okay. Now moving closer into 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, that's when you're going to start seeing a whole lot more. All right, up to close to, well, there you go. The central portion of North Texas, you're going to start seeing about an inch, okay, accumulated at that point. And then about half an inch or a little more. Oh, whoa, one of these. Okay, I don't know where I saw it, but I saw it. Over an inch and almost an inch and a quarter. Some portions of the northern central part of Texas. So again, accumulated. Not saying it's dropping it all right then and there, but as you move further into tomorrow afternoon, really going to start seeing some serious some numbers right here. Well over an inch up in the Arklatex region, central portions of northern Texas and the Red River Valley. And those are some serious accumulated totals. That's where you're really, that's probably, if you're going to lose power, it's probably going to be right about that time, I would expect, or at least by that time. That's when you should not be on the road. That's when roads are going to be impassable. And this is going to cause major problems. And of course, go all the way into to 6 a.m. on Sunday Central Time. It is pushed further into Arkansas. Arkansas is going to have a nice sheet of clear ice all over the southern portions of it, northwestern portion of Oklahoma, and the northeast portion of Texas. Houston, well, it doesn't go that far. I can switch back over to our global and see what it says a little further out. So it's back to the GFS model again. We're going into Monday, and you can see on Monday, it will have pretty much blanketed the entire southeastern portion of Texas as well, right? And so, in fact, back all the way up to Sunday afternoon, and it's about the same thing. Okay, so really about as been predicted, early Sunday morning, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning is when we're going to start really seeing frozen, the possibility of the freezing ice, or the freezing rain, excuse me. It's not going to be a whole heck of a lot. We're not going to be getting nearly as much as the northern portions of Texas and into other states in the east, but we will be seeing it. So be very careful. I would prefer you guys not drive if you don't have to. If you do, take it slow. All right. So, and then of course it goes on and on and on. And you see how it absolutely accumulates all the way up. Almost the majority of the South, to save Alabama has like the least amount, I guess, and of course Florida. So another thing here, we're going to go back up, and we are going to talk about temperature. Okay, this is important. This is a big one. We're going to go. We'll start with GFS, and then we can narrow it down. Okay, so this is the GFS model, and we're going to, you see kind of where it was, it's just dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. And so by, Saturday morning, right around Saturday morning, midnight, 3 a.m., all of the panhandle is below freezing. Most of the northern part of Texas is below freezing. Central Texas is right around freezing. The eastern side of Texas is still a little bit warmer. Of course, where Houston, southeast Texas, and below is a lot warmer, but it doesn't stay that way, guys. And so, in fact, by looking at roughly 3 a.m. Sunday, 3/4 of Texas is well below freezing, like hard freeze. Okay, and then Houston-ish area is still, the coast is still in the mid to high 30s, but it doesn't stay that way for much longer. And in fact, by the time you get to about 9 a.m. on Sunday, 95%, 98% of Texas is well below freezing. Okay, now these are the actual temperatures. These are the real temps. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys now. We're going to stay at GFS, and I'm going to show you guys something else. Okay, so that was the real temps. Now we're going to go to wind chill. Okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing, and I want you guys to notice the numbers and the difference. Okay, so 12 a.m. Saturday morning, Panhandle is looking at negative temperatures. It's at -0. It's funny. No such thing as -0, obviously. However, negative temperatures. All of a good portion of Oklahoma and further north, negatives. All right. These are wind chill temps. This is what your body's going to say it feels like. All right. This is not the actual temp, but if your body thinks it's going to be this temperature, it's that temperature. All right. So you can't tell your body, well, it's actually 10 degrees. So it doesn't care. So, and then of course we move further into the morning on Saturday, and you see these numbers just absolutely plummeting all the way down Texas, and it's going to keep plummeting. Okay, so by 9 a.m. Sunday morning, everybody keeps talking about Sunday morning, but 9 a.m. where that freezing rain, that sleet is pretty much covered all of Texas. You're looking at, unless you go all the way to the very, very, very southernmost tip of Texas, you're looking mostly a high of well below freezing. All right, wind chill, not actual temperature, wind chill. Okay, so this is very, very, very concerning. And in fact, as I move my cursor around, I'm seeing single digits all throughout. And then of course, you get up here into the Panhandle, and you start seeing negatives. So 4 P's, right? People, pets, pipes, plants. You can switch pipes and plants where people, pets, pipes, plants, or people, pets, plants, pipes, whatever. Okay. That's really not in order. They're all equally important. If you don't have plants, fine. But most people have a pet. Pets cannot survive this kind of temperature, so don't leave them outside. They cannot survive it. They will not survive it. All right, unless they are in a garage somewhere with it heated, some way to stay warm, hay, straw, something that they can hide in. But just being out in this, they will not survive. Neither can people. We can't survive it either. Okay, this is extreme, and it's going to be extreme for several days, for multiple days. So you're not going to be able to survive it. So don't be out of this stuff. Okay. If for some reason you have to go out and you have to get in your car and leave, make sure you have multiple blankets, multiple things of food, water, just in case. Okay. Have a way. If you get stuck, if you enter a wreck, you get stranded somewhere, you can't get away, you can stay warm and you can survive these extreme temperatures. Okay. So this is 9 a.m. on Sunday. This is not in the middle of the night. This is 9 a.m. You're looking at single digits for 85% of the state. And so it's not survivable. Okay. Now, Sunday, you get into Sunday evening, okay, and guess what? It drops even colder. So these wind chill temperatures have dropped even more. And so look at 9 a.m. Sunday. And then look at this. Look at this. You go to 3 a.m. Monday morning. 3 a.m. Monday morning in Central Texas, the wind chill temperatures is in the negatives. Not survivable. Okay. 7 degrees on the eastern side of Texas. 16-degree temperature, wind chill temperatures in the Houston, Harris County area and into the coastline. Okay. There is not a single portion of Texas that is above freezing at that point. Nowhere in Texas is it above freezing with wind chill. All right. So this is why I'm saying that it is imperative that you protect yourself, you protect your pets, you make sure your pipes will not survive this. If they are not wrapped, they will burst. I think 2021, okay, guys, 2021, people coming home and their pipes are burst, and the amount of money and issues that caused. This will be the exact same event. Hopefully, it won't be nearly as long, but it's the same type of event. You're going to lose power. You're going to freeze. So be very, very careful of that. Okay. And you know that's really, this has gone on, who knows, over 30 minutes. But I just want you guys to understand this is a very serious event, and it's starting now. Depending on where you are in Texas, it started now, and it's going to go on all the way into Monday. And in fact, the wind chill temperatures are not going to start really warming up until I'm at 12 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday, and this is predicting wind chill temperatures still below freezing for 85% of the state. So once it freezes, it gonna freeze, and it's gonna stay frozen. So protect yourself. Make sure that you know exactly where all of your stuff is, your batteries, your flashlights, your charge blocks, your generator, the fuel, the oil should already be in there. Make sure that your generator is vented, and make sure that wherever you're going to have that, it is somewhere where it will emit carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide kills, as we all know. So don't put it in the garage and have the garage closed, because you're setting a trap for yourself, and it will have very tragic outcomes. So make sure that it is vented, so wherever you're going to have that, and just know that this is what's coming. All right, it's here now. So, like I said, depending on where you are, this is exactly what we're going to be facing. Now, this is GFS models. One more thing I want to do real quick. Back to convection allowing. Go back to the HRRR. There it is. All right. Now let's see what the HRRR says real quick. Again, it doesn't go out very far. It doesn't go nearly as far out. I've said that many times, but it's true. So this just happened to land at 6 a.m. Sunday morning, and you see the wind chill temperatures, single digits and negatives through over half the state. And I can't get it to go any further, but I want you to see. So this is 6 a.m. Friday. So this was 6:39, almost 10 hours ago, and you see the wind chill temperatures, some of it already below freezing up in the Panhandle. Right, today, it's 10 hours ago. You're gonna watch it drop and drop and drop and drop and drop as that cold front pushes through. That low pressure system pushes through from the west and just pushes it all the way through. And there's your freezing state of Texas. And again, I don't believe that. I think that will still be below freezing. I do not believe that will not be. I don't believe that will not be. So you got the entire state of Texas frozen. This is wind chill, but I can go to your temperatures, and it's not going to be much better. So this is the temperature. This is the actual real temps. Okay, 3/4 of the state below freezing. A good portion of the state severely below freezing. Hard freeze. Teens. Single digits. So the real temperature in the wind chill, they're in agreement. You're going to freeze. All right. So make sure you're prepared for that. So all right, I'm going to end this. I think this is enough. I think you guys have gotten a pretty good idea of how serious this is. If you have not made preparations by now, the grocery stores have been a madhouse the last couple of days. Good luck, but do what you can. Go find every Dollar General and dollar store or whatever you can find, and go get what you need. Real quick, get stuff that's going to make sense. Okay. If you're not going to have power and you don't have a way to heat up something, don't get stuff to heat up, because you're not going to be able to cook it. Unless you want to eat it cold, fine. Do what you got to do to survive. Food's food. But warm food is going to keep you a lot warmer, of course. It's going to heat you up better than cold. Okay. So buy stuff that you can use and you can eat. All right. And if you don't have any way to get access to heat, then you don't need to be buying stuff that needs to be heated. Okay. I see other people buying eggs. Why? Unless you're going to be eating raw eggs for the next couple of days, I don't understand why you're buying eggs, because most of you aren't going to have power to cook it. So come on, common sense. Okay. You don't need 20 rolls of toilet paper the next couple of days. Stay away from the laxatives unless you need them. I don't know what to tell you guys, but some of y'all are cooking or going out there in grocery shopping like it's the Armageddon again, and it's not going to be. It's not going to be fun. But we're not looking at a 2021 long spread week plus event. Okay, hopefully we should be looking at 3 to 4 days. All right, so a pack of toilet paper should last you 3 to 4 days, unless you have one of those large families. So that's it. I'm going to end with that. And people, pets, plants, pipes, 4 Ps, all important. Make sure you take care of all of them before this happens. All right. So appreciate it. You guys take care. Be safe. All right. I might be getting on with another guy and doing a podcast tomorrow to kind of do an update for you guys if we can work it out. But yeah, be safe. All right. Take care.